Sophia Knitting. Today I'm going to show you how to knit super easy and beautiful headband with a twist. It is very easy to knit and I will show you how. For the headband I use a stretch yarn of wool Elise Merino thread. Headband requires a tapestry needle, tape measure, a pair of scissors and another needle for holding stitches. We are going to cast on 24 stitches, which I have already done right here. You can make any number of stitches depending how wide or narrow you want your headband to be. We will work a 1 by 1 rib. It means you will knit the first stitch, and pull the next stitch. Continue, knit 1, pull 1, knit 1, pull 1. Continue working until you get to the last stitch, and when you get to the last stitch, pull 1. This is how our first row looks like. Let's get started with next row. The first stitch we just take off. And the next stitch is purl stitch. Purl 1, knit 1. First stitch take off. So continue working on 1 by 1 rib until you get half of your head size. For example, if your head size is 54 centimeters, you have to work over and over again these rows until you get 27 centimeters, half of your head size. Here I have already done with my half headband. The best way to figure out how long to knit your half headband is using the tape measure wrapped around your head above the ears and the same measure. As I told you, if you have head size of 54 centimeters, you need your half headband to be 27 centimeters. What you can do if you don't have tape measure, don't worry. Simply you just take your half headband, wrap it on your head, and if it fits on your half head, as you see here, you are ready to make a twist. Now it's time to make our twist, which is very easy to do. We will need another knitting needle, and it doesn't matter how size it is, you just need it to hold stitches on it. So we have 24 stitches on our working needle, and we will take half of it. We will take 12 stitches on this needle. You just grab your needle and take off 12 stitches. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 stitches on our needle and 12 stitches on our working needle. So move it behind and ignoring of those stitches. Continue working on 1 by 1 rib. You just take it comfortable. So the last stitch is purl stitch. So we will continue on another needle working with knit stitch. This is a little bit tight here, but don't worry. Just simply continue on working 1 by 1 rib. So the next stitch is knit stitch, purl stitch, knit stitch, purl stitch. It's a little bit tight here, but continue working on 1 by 1 rib and don't worry. So the last stitch is purl stitch. We don't need this needle anymore. Our twist is done, and you can see this is a little bit tight here. You can't see your twist because you need a couple more rows and the twist will appear by itself. So take the first stitch off and continue making it one by one loop. As you can see, my twist is right here. It is very beautiful, and I have beautiful edges right here too. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to continue knitting until I get this part. Until I get to the end. We reached our desirable head size. It's time to cast off. We take off the first stitch and purl the next stitch. So now bring the first stitch over the second stitch. We have one stitch here and we always need 2 stitches on our needle, so the next stitch is knit stitch, knit 1, and first stitch over the second stitch. Next stitch is purl stitch, purl, first stitch over the second. Continue working and cast off until you get the last stitch. I am now on my last stitch. We need to cut the yarn, but first make sure you leave enough yarn and snip it off. To secure the cast off edge, you just need to take these 2 sides together and just make sure that they kind of flush with each other. I'm going to take my tapestry needle to seam these edges. So now we are going to seam edges using whip stitch method. Just make sure that the edges are even. Let's unfold our headband and see what it looks like. It's beautiful, comfortable, warm and stretchy enough.